Angela crossed the line on 90 Day Fiance, y'all, and she just went way too far. Guys, 90 Day Fiance was on not so long ago. We got to see Angela and Michael, and if you don't already know, they had the drama within the whole thing of, Angela wanting to divorce Michael, blah, 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 all that crap. Well, guess what? Shocker. They're not getting divorced. They ended up talking. They talked to her psychic, and that actually didn't go very well. The psychic basically just said, listen, Angela, you know within yourself you think that Michael is using you, and if you need to leave him. The psychic basically, nothing against the psychic, but the psychic basically just said, pretty much nothing, and that was it. So then Angela ended up talking to Michael. Michael called her back. He apologized and apologized and apologized. One thing led to another, and now they're back on good terms, and then we even got to see them do a little bit of a FaceTime Skype. And Angela showed off everything that she got done recently, and it was all on camera. Now, I know Angela really probably has zero say in what they do and do not show on camera, but she was showing stuff and doing stuff and saying stuff, and it's like, you really want this on national TV? The thing I don't understand is, you guys are gonna call me a prude and this or that. I'm not. I am sincerely not. My issue is, this is 90 Day Fiance. Why is this on the show? So we got to see literally everything, and they tried to blur this and that out, but they didn't really blur it very good. So we got to see the whole 9 yards. Angela, great for her. She's looking amazing, but still, it's like, do we really have to all see it? So I am just kind of at this point where I'm like, this season of 90 Day Fiance needs to come to an end. Angela, you know what? I could have gone without seeing what I saw. That's all I'm going to say. Y'all can comment below what you think. Angela and Michael, though, they're back together. Whatever. They're happy now. It sounds like Michael is 100% still not here in America. I wouldn't be shocked if Angela's going to go see him in Nigeria soon, though. I think she probably would be able to. Now everything's starting to kind of calm down in America. She might be able to go there. But either way, I don't think he's, here in America. They're still together. They're trying to work it out. Nothing really even, he didn't even say anything. He just, he called her and apologized like 2 or 3 times. He called her his queen. Angela kind of got mad. Then he apologized again, and then she was kind of cool with it. So it's like, okay, nothing really ever happened. Kind of stupid. And I'm starting to kind of question, is this whole thing just fake with Angela and Michael? I don't know. Oh, completely crazy. But comment below you guys think. Maybe I don't even know. Maybe I'm acting stupid and immature. But to me, it's like, I thought it was a little too much. And I saw some stuff that I did not really want to see. But comment below what y'all think. Let's keep going on. More on Angela and Michael in a minute. We did get to see Mike and Natalie and their relationship. Finally, we can start counting down. The relationship is coming to an end. And if you are at home and you are saying, wow, Max, you are the rudest, most, horrible person ever for wanting Mike and Natalie's relationship to end, that's not the case. Here's the situation. We know in present day, they are likely not together. There was a rumor, though, that Mike and Natalie actually broke up and then got back together like really recently. So that could be true, but I'm pretty confident that's not the case. And it looks like we are days away on 90 Day Fiance for Mike and for Natalie to finally be done. And y'all, you will not believe, I am just so excited for this couple to be over and then for them to go their separate ways and for us to not have to watch these two anymore. Basically, nothing really happened. Natalie had the procedure on her nose. She healed. She recovered. Mike was working out. He was trying to relieve some stress and whatnot, and nothing even happened, really. Like, they talked. Mike, you can see, is still really mad that she didn't really apologize, and Natalie was mad. And it's just, here's my problem with these two. Mike always has an issue. He'll want to talk about it. Then he'll tell Natalie, and she won't really want to talk about it. Then Mike won't want to talk about it. Then Natalie will want to talk about it, but then Mike won't. So it's like, they just can never see eye to eye. They have no business being together. I said it from the start. They had no business even getting married. So they shouldn't have even done it to begin with. But it sounds like, you guys, that Natalie leaves him on December 24th of 2020. And I think we are just days and days and days away from that date when she actually leaves. Because with Mike and Natalie, we did get to see in a preview for the next episode that they are doing like one of those confessional things, with the green screen background, all that kind of stuff. And then that's when Natalie says something. I think she says that she doesn't really know if she loves Mike. That's her biggest claim to fame. She's always talking about, does she love him? It's like, okay, why'd you marry the guy? If you don't 100% love this man, why did you marry him? But I don't know. And you guys are going to say I'm always hating on Natalie. I'm not. Mike is just as crazy as her. They're both equally crazy. I can't stand either of them. But then Mike ends up standing up and running out, and he was screaming and really mad and like getting kind of hysterical and just crazy. So, I don't know. I think after that little interview, what probably happens is They go back home, they're together for a couple days, they're still fighting, and then what I heard happened is Natalie just runs off and goes to Seattle, and she probably stays with her friend Juliana or Julie, whatever her name is, and then that's the end of those two. So kind of just crazy, and I'm not really sad. And in fact, I'm actually kind of happy that it might be coming to an end. So that was about it for Mike and Natalie. We did also get to see Yara and Jovi, and y'all, I kind of just love these two. I don't know. It's weird, and you guys are gonna call me dramatic. I love the whole family thing. See, this is me. I do love happiness. It doesn't happen very often on the shows. Everyone's just fighting, but Yara and Joey for the most part seem happy. He's back. They're living in the middle of nowhere. He doesn't seem, yes, he is complaining about it, but also it almost seems like he's kind of just like forced to. It doesn't seem like he really cares that much. So they're looking for some stuff. You know, they end up, that Yara throws a Ukrainian Christmas for Joey's mom and his two cousins, and they had it was weird. I will say that. It was awkward. It was weird. They didn't want to eat the food. They were insulting her food. To me, that was rude. It's like, eat it and shut up. But the thing I will say is, Yara did the exact same thing with Joey's mom's food. Not to her face, but she did it on camera. She wouldn't eat that stew, that whole thing. So it's like, she did the exact same thing. So it's kind of like, it's kind of the exact same thing. And the truth is, Joey's mom could have kind of been joking, maybe, but Yara got offended. And then it came time, I don't know what time these people got there, but it was like 6, 7 o'clock, and she just said, okay, dinner's done, you guys go home. She didn't want to hang out, she didn't want to sit around. She basically just kicked them out, and Joey's mom and the cousins were very upset and mad and offended, and I can kind of see why. But also, I don't know, did they get there at like, 10 o'clock in the morning, or did they get there? So it's like, we don't really know what time they got there. Say they got there at like 3:34 in the afternoon and they had to leave at 6. That is pretty rude, because they had to drive an hour each way, I think. So yes, that would be rude. But it's like, did they get there at 9 in the morning? We really have no idea. I don't know. They probably got there at noon or 1, and then she wanted to leave them at 6. Maybe, maybe not. She was blaming it on their daughter. Mila's, the baby had to go to bed. And so that was her excuse. And that was the whole drama with their little thing, because it was Jovi wants to go out and have fun and travel with Yara and all this stuff, and Yara wants to watch the baby. It's the same old story, same old drama. I think it is partially true, partially just kind of fake for the show. I think they're doing fine. They seem so happy. On Instagram, Yara swears up and down that Joey is the best dad ever, he's amazing, but it's like on the show, we never hear any of that. We never hear any of that praise. So I'm kind of like, I don't know, I just think 90 Day Fiance isn't showing everything, because I do think that Yara and Jovi are in love, and they're happy. Yes, Yara can be rude. Yes, Jovi can be immature, but for whatever reason, they kind of seem to fit. And maybe you guys aren't going to agree, but to me, it's like they're kind of actually a cute couple. And then Tiffany and Ronald were on it. We actually did not get to see Tiffany's kids, Daniel or Carly. That was kind of weird, but yeah, they were on it. And you know what? I'm gonna give this one to you guys. You guys comment below what you guys think of Tiffany and Ronald. I feel like it's one of those things where it's just a divided split. Either you love Tiffany, or you hate Tiffany, you love Ronald, you hate Ronald, same kind of thing. I just kind of think that at the end of the day, okay, Ronald makes really weird, bizarre, random decisions. Tiffany is really overcritical and rude. That's what I think is going on. And it's like, basically, Tiffany never seems to be happy with Ronald, but to Tiffany's defense, Ronald makes these really bizarre, random decisions. So they were there, they had their date night the episode before, that was a complete disaster. They ended up kind of talking it out. They kind of hashed their differences out. They weren't like that mad. Like the next day, they kind of talked it out. It wasn't some big crazy drama. They worked everything out. And then that is when Ronald actually ended up taking Tiffany to this car lot because he wanted to buy a truck so he could start a handyman business. And then, of course, that's what I'm saying. Random idea. Not a bad idea. It's a random, bizarre timing idea. But his logic was, I want to take care of my family, and if I have this truck, I will make more money, and I can take it right. Which to me, that's a great, if that's true, great idea. It is definitely a big risk. If I was him, I would just say, keep your day job, maybe buy this truck, or maybe save, do something. I wouldn't jump all in. I would just still keep your job and just work extra hours. And then once this other, the handyman business makes more money, then we could talk about you quitting the job and all that kind of stuff. But he wanted to go all in. That freaked Tiffany out. Tiffany, that's an awful idea. That's what I mean. He has a random idea, then she took it and was so overly critical and rude and was saying, this is an awful idea. You're going to be in America in 3 months. What are you thinking? She went off and off and off. And I kind of felt bad for Ronald because it was like she was just totally going off on the guy, how all his ideas suck and this and that and the other. And to me, personally, that was really rude. So yeah, I thought, that was like not cool by Tiffany, but I can see where she's coming from too. That's why I'm like, y'all comment what you think of those two. I just feel like at the end of the day, we all know in present day, they're not together. They're going to be getting a divorce, last I heard, and that's the end of it. That's the thing. At the end of the day, they should not be together. They fight way too much. They don't see eye to eye. I don't know what Tiffany needs. I don't know what Ronald needs, but they definitely, just as a couple, they don't really suit each other. They just don't suit. Like they have different dreams and visions and ideas. And what he thinks is right, she thinks is wrong. It's a similar situation with Mike and Natalie, and it's honestly just kind of even hard to watch. And then there was the Kardashian clan. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I meant the whole Potas family. This is the most annoying family I have ever watched on 90 Day Fiance. We got to see Elizabeth and Andre and the whole family. They're still in Maryland. They finally had this family reunion. Okay, great. I'm happy they could do it. It looked like on the show though that there was like no one there, which I don't want to be rude. I'm not saying that they have like a small family or anything, but it is like they drove all this way to see like two people. Really? So it almost seems like even more so it's like this is just completely fake for drama for the show. Anyway, they got there. They made it there. They got to the party. Surprisingly, it was pretty drama-free until one of Elizabeth's sisters brought up the fact about this babysitter thing, and of course, that is when the everyone asked, Elizabeth, do you have a babysitter? Then Elizabeth heard that, and Andre heard it, and then he ran out the door. Because if you don't already know, Elizabeth wanted a babysitter. Apparently, she's really busy working, and I'm not going to stand here and judge and say they should have one, they shouldn't. That's their own life. It's their own decisions. I just feel like if she's working and he's working, get a babysitter. Great. If he doesn't want a babysitter, then Andre, you take care. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, he wants to eat his cake, and, you know, it's like he doesn't want a babysitter, but he doesn't want to watch the baby. So it's like, well, what do you want then, dude? So basically what he wants is he wants Elizabeth to work and also watch the baby. To me, it's kind of stupid. So I get people who don't want a babysitter, but it's like, Andre, you can't have both things. You got to choose one or the other or watch the baby. You only got a couple options. You can't just complain. So they were talking about that. That was episodes and episodes and episodes ago. It was never brought up again, but apparently she did end up actually hiring a babysitter behind Andre's back, which is like, does he look at your bank? If he saw the bank that you're paying this girl, whatever, you know, I don't know how Venmo, however you're paying this person that's watching your baby, within like a couple days, he would just say, oh, there's a charge for however much money to a babysitter. He'd be able to piece it together for sure. So I'm like, does he not have like, you know, can he not look at your bank account? That makes no sense. But apparently, she hired this babysitter. She's a great person. She's been watching their kid. Everything's been going great. Andre found out at this party, of course, and he ran off, and he was screaming, and he was mad, and Elizabeth was mad at him. And then all of a sudden, just like that, boom, they didn't want to draw his attention. They kind of hashed everything out. They went back in the party, and that was it. And everything was basically going well. You could see, though, that Charlie, her brother, just had something up his sleeve, and he was not ready to give up. And same with the sisters, too. Like, they wanted to fight. They wanted to get mad. They wanted to do something. Then they went back for an after party at Chuck, her dad's, sister's place, Elizabeth's aunt's house, and then they were playing foosball, they being Andre and his, brother-in-law, whatever. And then also, guess what happens? Chuck comes up, the dad, and they were casually talking about business. Didn't seem very serious, but the sisters get word of it, and they run upstairs, and they were screaming at the dad because they were saying that Andre's trying to use him, and he's trying to take advantage. And it's like, what is even, at this point, like, to me, guys, it's like, what really, I'm at a point in my life with this show, with these two, with this family, where it's like, if this dad, Chuck, really wants to take out of his own money and give half of it to Andre and whatever for this house. Let's say he buys a deal using his own money. Let's say he makes $50,000 and he takes that profit and he personally wants to split it with Andre for whatever reason. Maybe it's because he likes the guy. Maybe it's because he wants his daughter to be able to support, to be able to pay for things and have a normal life. Who really knows or cares? But if he wants to do that, he should be able to do it. But for whatever reason, Charlie and the two sisters will not drop it. They will not stop talking about the fact that their dad, who has nothing to do with them, wants to take his own money, which has nothing to do with them, and work with Andre with it. Nothing to do with them. Therefore, they're going to get pinched out of a deal, and they won't be able to work with him. And maybe that's the case. Maybe it's not. But at the end of the day, it's like, girls, if you want to act like you're so independent, same with Charlie. If you want to act like you're so amazing and independent and so, whatever, you got all this great stuff, then go start your own thing. Go do your own thing. You don't need to hold your dad's hand. And it's getting to a point where it's embarrassing for all of them. It's embarrassing for Andre. He became a realtor. Go sell some houses. It's embarrassing for the two girls and Charlie because it's like, if you're so amazing and independent and strong, make so much money, go do your own own thing too then. So they're all like, you know, relying on their dad. It's just really just embarrassing. Like I was saying, they're all just a bunch of weirdos and embarrassing. And I can't, they all love drama. Either it's fake or it's real. Either way, they're just completely crazy, and I just can barely even stand watching these people anymore. And then we saw Kalani and Asuelu. Like the other couples, not a whole lot happened. Basically all that happened was Asuelu told Kalani's family that his mother and Tammy, his sister, who cannot stand Kalani, and Colini, and even the mom, are gonna come into town for Christmas. And of course, what do you think? It's gonna be a disaster. They were all pretty mad, and they were not really feeling it, but they're coming, and they do end up coming, and guess what happens? They get into a big, gigantic fight, and that is basically about it with those two. I will say one thing, though, is Asuelu really seems to be trying. I was never a fan of him. I always thought he was kind of just annoying and immature, and he couldn't hold his own weight. And I really thought he was just too immature. But then I gotta give the guy credit. He definitely seems to be trying, and you have to give Kalani credit, too, because she seems to be liking it. She's like, you know, not complaining. She's definitely like, okay, you know, she's letting him do his thing. Said he's doing a good job, but they're definitely getting along. It's just now his mom and sister, who cannot stand his wife, Kalani, are coming into town. And if you guys are wondering, what about Brandon and Julia? They were not on 90 Day Fiance. They were not on that last episode. They were gone, and they moved into another place, so that's their whole drama. They're moving, the parents get mad. That's basically it. Nothing else much really going on. It seems like for the most part, those two are actually doing pretty well, and they're happy, and she actually went over to Russia. Now she's back, so they're doing pretty well. All things are good for those two, and yeah, that was basically for 90 Day Fiance. A lot of just weird stuff that almost seems kind of fake. All I know is, you guys, the tell-all for this season was filmed a few weeks ago, and I can only sit here and hope and pray that we're going to get a new season very, 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 very soon. So I cannot stand watching these couples much longer. I'm literally about to lose it. I'm just kidding, kind of, but it is like, oh my god, this is getting sickening. Well, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Tap that like button, hit the comments below, and y'all better stay tuned for many more videos.